Okay, welcome back to my channel. It's Charlie here. We've got the best cold calling script today. How to book 3 to 5 meetings using cold calling. Now, if you want the most amount of success, then I do recommend watching all the way through. There's no gatekeeping here. I'm going to be giving away everything. So get ready for just pure value on, how to have the highest success rate and appointment booking rate when you are doing cold calling. And by the end of it, you'll be able to cold call like the pros using this script. Now, this was my personal script that I used to use, and it booked me a ton of meetings every single day, so I can vouch for it. It's very effective and it's very powerful, and I know it's going to help a lot of you. However, I don't want you just to take my word. I want you to see that it's helped other people, and it's insanely powerful. Now, Jared, booked a meeting through cold calling using this, did 2 cold calls, booked a meeting for Monday, first meeting for Jamie. Cold calling is definitely the way to go. 35 calls, and he got a meeting. Esteban, first 2 meetings. Ahmed, another meeting. And if we actually go to the community section, so if you don't know, this is my program, you can see a lot of people booking meetings from this essentially. Very powerful stuff I'm going to be sharing with you, so it's going to get interesting. But to show you the pure power of this, let's actually, I'm going to show you something insane. So Landon, he joined. Now, he did 40 cold calls, and he tracked them. Essentially, this morning, me and Charlie had a talk about my issues. So his biggest pain point was appointment booking, so probably the same as you. And he did 40 calls, and he booked 10 meetings. 10 meetings from 40 calls using this. Now, I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to get straight into it. But hopefully that's given you the confidence that you needed for me to basically explain what and how this works. So let's get into it. Okay, here it is, the full cold calling script. A few important things that you need to know before you actually start the calling, or if you already do cold calling and you're struggling, it's probably because of these 5 things. So the first one's tonality. In my opinion, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So 80% is actually the tonality and the way in which you articulate the words or the script I'm about to show you, and sort of the 20% is just the actual words. So this is extremely important. Imagine you're calling a friend. This is how I like to picture it. So make sure you sound like you actually want to speak to the business owner. I see so many people and they just sound like utterly depressed. I'm not going to go there, but you get the point. Too many people sound robotic and bored while calling. I understand it's a tedious, frustrating thing, but I believe that the most painful activities lead to the most amount of success. So you have to believe in the product and talk with confidence, but don't be too enthusiastic. I see too many people over the edge. There's a balance that needs to be taken into account. The next one is an alias. Now, if you struggle with rejection, now you're going to be doing a lot of calls a day. It's going to be hard. You're going to get rejected. One thing you can do, which is quite interesting, is have an alias. Now, an alias is another name for yourself. So instead of me calling businesses and saying, hey, it's Charlie, am I reaching the business owner? You could say a different name. So I could say, hey, it's Jake. Now, obviously, this is a quick little trick that you can do, because it'll make it so you don't take it personally, because it wasn't you that got rejected. It wasn't Charlie, it was Jake or another name. Now, if someone's rude to you on the call, it's probably because they're insecure about themselves or their business. So don't worry about people who are just being rude and that kind of stuff. They're probably too small-minded anyway. Now, objection handling. This can take place anytime during the call. Make sure you at least try to overcome their objections. Too many people make the mistake of not pushing back from the actual prospect's objection. For example, when they say, I'm not interested, most agency owners will just stop there. And they're not going to succeed. They're not going to book meetings. They're not going to close clients. They're afraid of confrontation. You cannot do that. You cannot lean into that sort of behavior. You have to push back. You have to be like a bulldog, just constantly, going at it and just trying to get them on a meeting. So I'm going to tell you how you can, as you can see on the left, we've got quite a lot to cover, but I'm going to go over how to handle objection handling and heuristics in a minute. But the next thing you need to take into account, and this is probably the most important one, right? You will need to explain the service to obviously get them interested and tell them how it can solve their problem. But do not explain everything. Too many people go into way too much detail on the cold call. The main reason prospects will book a call with you is because they're curious. They like your offer, their offer resonates with them, and they want to book a call because they want to learn more. So if you explain everything on the call, like your funnels, your chatbots, your ads, no one cares about that. I mean, they probably do, but it's removing the emotion and it's removing the curiosity. So when you do get on a call, there's nothing else to do, so they're not going to book with you. Provoke as much curiosity as possible. Sell the end result, not the destination. Sell the sell the destination, not the journey, if that makes sense. And explain. You can tell them more in a 15 to 20 minute call. Next, mindset. This is the last one. Cold calling is very painful. It's very frustrating. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be scared. That's totally understandable. It is fine. Like, how it works is it's just like the gym. When you first start going, it's going to be a bit awkward. It's going to be painful. You're not going to like it. However, anyone who's been going to a gym for a long period of time, you eventually become like malleable. You change and you adapt, and you actually kind of like to enjoy the gym and that kind of stuff. So just know that it's only going to be temporarily painful. But instead of hating it, so instead of being like, oh, this is really painful, I don't want to do it, and instead of procrastinating, you should be grateful, because without pain, there would be no value in what you're trying to achieve. Cold calling is fundamentally the best way to get good at sales. So at least it will provide a base for any future endeavors that involve sales. And if you run an agency, sales is pretty much everything. If you can't get clients, then there's no point worrying about anything else. So it's great. I think every beginner should do it. At least to try it for a couple months. It will teach you so many lessons. But we have reached the part that you all have been waiting for, which is the actual script. Now, first line. This is what I recommend, and it's to get past the gatekeeper. So the gatekeeper could be a receptionist or a secretary or someone that's at the main office of the business that isn't the business owner. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to speak with a decision maker. Now, this doesn't have to be the business owner. It can be someone of upper authority, but typically you want the business owner. But if it's a massive business, then you probably won't get to speak to them. So what we do is in the opener, we say, hey, it's Charlie. Am I reaching the owner of X business? And like I just said, we do that to get past the receptionist or the secretary. Now, what they're going to say next is either one of two things. They're going to say, yeah, that's totally fine. Here's the business owner. He's available now. Or they're going to say, no, he's busy at the moment. What's it about? And then in that situation, I recommend briefly saying, so you could say, yeah, it's just about marketing. I'm just interested to see if you can handle any more clients. Do you know when he would be available next? And whatever the lady or the man says, you're going to write it down for when he's available next, the owner or someone who manages marketing, and you're going to phone them back. That's very important. You can phone back. Now, Apple doesn't sell to a new, list every single time when they release a new iPhone. They sell to the same people. So you have to be calling back the same people and just going in on that. So if you do get to the business owner, which will probably be like 30% of the time. So a lot of the calls you won't, but in the case you do, this is what I recommend saying. So you're going to say, great, I'll be honest. Let's just say let's say the business owner is called Ben. So great, I'll be honest, Ben. I do have something to pitch your business. So if you want, feel free to hang up. Or you could just give me 17 seconds and I can explain how I might be able to help your business. Now, there's multiple psychological things that are going into this script. The first one is you're being honest. And by giving them an option where they can say no, you're putting it out there. You're saying, look, to be honest, I do have something to pitch your business. So I understand if you want to hang up. Or you can just give me 17 seconds and I'll explain how I might be able to help. So the first thing, right, is you're explaining the honesty. Transparency and honesty goes a long way. And you're giving them an option to hang up. So what that is going to do is they're not going to get mad. Or they shouldn't get mad, hopefully. Which is probably what you want. You probably don't want people screaming at you, telling you to go away. So by giving them an option, you're giving them an option to leave. But to be honest, by saying, can I just have 17 seconds so I might be able to help the business? They're going to be like, it's only 17 seconds. What the hell? Yeah, go for it. Like, it's so powerful. Like, it's literally a cracked method. Now, the reason we say 17, because you're probably wondering why on earth like 17 seconds instead of like 20 or 30 or a minute. Once again, we provoke curiosity. They're thinking to themselves, that is interesting. Why 17 seconds? So it's giving them something to think about, because most people who cold call, they say, just give me 30 seconds, a minute. They always say the same number. However, if you're unique and you're different, so once again, this won't work if thousands of people watch this video and use 17. You have to use your own number. So it could be like, give me 14 seconds. You get the point, change it. But obviously, they'll probably be curious and they'll probably know like why you want to help them or how you can help them. And it's only 17 seconds, so they can't lose much. And you've given them a way out. Now, if they do say, yeah, sure, go for it, 17 seconds, you're going to say something like this. Now, I put in green, you need to change your offer. So obviously this is just an example for, I don't know, just a random agency, what you would use. But obviously change it to, hang on, let me just change that to bold so you can see clearly. But change the offer to what you offer essentially. So if it's chatbots, great. If it's ads, great. If it's short form content, great. So this is how I would say it roughly. Now don't obviously copy this, but I would say something like, perfect. So I help barbers across the US get an extra 5 to 10 customers per month, or you don't pay. I'm sure you're quite busy at the moment, so that's why a lot of barbers love my service, because it doesn't actually require any extra work from your end. Yet you'll get customers every single month. Is this something you potentially might be interested in? Or is this something you'd be opposed to learning more about? Now, obviously, I wouldn't say it like that. I would probably say it with a bit more confidence. So I would say, so let's just go back to Ben. I will actually say this now how I would personally say it. So the tonality, so you can sort of replicate my tonality and how you should say it. So you want to balance confidence, conviction, but not too over the top. So something like this. Perfect, Ben. So I actually help barbers across the US get an extra 5 to 10 customers, or you don't pay a single penny. Now, I'm sure you get a ton of calls like this, and I'm sure you're busy, but that's actually why barbers love my service, because it doesn't require any extra work from your end, yet you'll get more customers than you know what to do with every single month. Is this something you'd be opposed to learning more about? So that's how I would say it. Not over the top, but it's conviction. They can tell that you've got confidence in you, so you can't be nervous. If you are nervous, then do some deep breaths before the call. But you just have to be like confident, man. Like you can't stumble. Obviously, it's just like anything. The more you do, the better you'll get. You have to just put in the reps. Like in the gym, you have to put in the reps every single day, and eventually you will get results. There's no two ways about it. It's like if you go to the gym every single day for 6 months, you will gain muscle. Like it's I don't care how good or bad your genetics are. It's going to happen. It's the same with cold calling. You do 50 cold calls, 50 to 100 cold calls a day for 6 months. You will sign clients. You will book meetings and you will make money. Simple. Now, what they'll do is, obviously this is like make or break. So either they're going to be interested or they're not going to be interested. Sometimes they can't actually handle more clients. Maybe they're too busy at the moment. But if you're providing a chatbot, then maybe that could help with that. So that's actually a good way of doing that, or it doesn't matter what service, you get the point. Now, response 3 is if they are positive, you should say, sure, I'd be happy to show you exactly how this works and how we can achieve these results for our other clients on a quick 15-minute call. Are you available tomorrow by any chance? Or are you available later on this week by any chance? But we're not trying to get them to book too far in advance, because they'll forget about you and the chance of them showing up to the call will be lower. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to book in either the next day or the day after that, preferably the soonest possible. And if they say, yeah, that's good, or yes, I'm available later on in the week, you're going to give them 2 options. So they might say a time like they're free, like 3 p.m. for example. If not, you're going to give them 2 options like, does 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. work best for you? But what I actually recommend saying is something like this. You're going to say, are you a morning or afternoon type of person? So boom, you're going to say something like that. Are you a morning or you an afternoon type of person, Ben? And they're going to say, oh, I kind of like the morning. And then you're going to say, okay, does 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. work best? Or what time works best for you? So we're suiting our arrangement around them. We're making them feel like they can choose. And what happens, right, is when you get them to choose, so let me write this down. When you get the prospect to choose a time, they are much more committed So let's say I'm Ben and Charlie, me, I've just asked Ben, what time are you available tomorrow? And he says, oh, I can do 5 p.m. He said himself that he can do 5 p.m. And what you're going to do, right, is once you do that, you're actually going to book him in over the call. So you're not going to send him a link. You're not doing that. If he asks to send you to the email, you're just going to say, okay, typically what I can do is I can just book you in right now for that time. Does that sound cool? And then he's going to say, yeah. And then you're going to say, okay, what's the best email to send that confirmation to? And he'll give you your email. And then what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, great, I'll speak to you. And you're going to repeat the time again. So notice how we're constantly repeating the time. So tomorrow, 5 p.m., just checking one more time, you can make that, right? And they're going to say, yeah. And then you're just going to say, okay, looking forward to it. Have a wonderful day. I'll speak to you tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then what you can do is once you arrange that, if you want to be even more professional, you can send them a loom. Going over, so you're once again in this loom, you're going to send it to their email after you booked a call and they've got the confirmation, and you're going to say, hey, it's Charlie, I'm really excited and looking forward to working with you or speaking with you tomorrow. So I should be speaking, not working, but what it's going to do is it's going to make them feel bad if they don't show up, because you've shown interest and you're being excited about the call. So if they see that, then they probably will show up. Now let's talk about objection handling and heuristics. Heuristics are predetermined decisions. So for example, let's say on a sales call or a cold call, the prospect says not interested. If you do it long enough, you're going to get a heuristic, which means that you're going to already know what to say. It's just like natural, if that makes sense. Just like, okay, I was going to think of an example, but I can't. But this means when a prospect says something, you will know immediately how to respond because you've done that and you've been there and you've heard it before. So let's say a prospect says not interested. What I recommend saying is most agency owners are too soft nowadays. So you can crush the competition. If you're watching this, you can easily become a savage and just crush the competition by saying something like this. Oh, I completely understand why you might say that. And to be honest, you don't really know what we offer. And I'm going to be completely honest here, Ben. I don't even know if I can help you. But there's no harm in seeing if a problem you've got can be resolved by my service. Does that sound fair? So what we're doing is we're lowering their guard by saying, I'm going to be honest, Ben, I don't even know if I can help you, or I don't even know if my service will be a fit for you, but that's why I would like to know a bit more about your business. So we're pushing back, but we're also lowering their guard, because most agencies would either not respond to that, or they would say, okay, have a great day, and just leave the call. So we're actually saying, like, I'm not sure if I can help you. Like, they probably don't hear that much. And then the next one is going to be, I'm too busy, says prospect. And you can say, I completely understand. However, if you are really busy, isn't that a reason why you might want some support? What do you think? Because let's face it, most of the people you cold call, they're going to say they're too busy or they're not interested. So that's why I put these two. But if they're too busy, then think about it. Let's use that to our advantage. Does your service help them save time? If you provide a chatbot, it does. If you provide content, it does. Like ads, maybe not, but even ads, it still helps them save time. So you can ask them like, Ben, I've got a question. If you are that busy, doesn't that mean that you should have some support? Something like that is really powerful, and it makes them question like, oh yeah, maybe if I am busy, that I do need some support. I need someone to help me with the marketing or something like that. Now, that's just something to think about. Obviously, you can change these and adapt it. These are just what I would personally say. And yeah, so this is the script indeed. This is what I recommend. It's probably one of the most powerful things. There's a lot of psychology that goes into it in terms of the 17 seconds, the end result, focusing on the end result, not going into too much detail. Now, obviously, the prospect could say a million different things. I cannot tell you everything they're going to say in terms of objections thing. It could be random. However, the more you do, the more you'll get better. So just keep staying consistent, and consistency compounds, which is a really important thing to note. So don't get discouraged if you aren't booking meetings when you start doing it. It takes time to be good, and eventually it will all be worth it. Trust me, if you can just do it and stay consistent. Now, if you do want more coaching and you want to join the new program we have. We've got a great offer at the moment where if we don't add $10,000 to your monthly recurring revenue in the next 6 months, we are going to give you a full refund. I'm going to make a YouTube video on this shortly because it's my new program. I'm so excited to launch it. Early on in the video, I went over some results of what people have been doing in the program, and it's nothing short of amazing. So I'm really excited to tell you more about that in the future. But if you want to, if you need help, one-to-one coaching, and you need systems to be able to book meetings, more meetings, and just, get clients and get to 10K per month with a proven path that I've done, then book a call below. It'll be the first link in the description. You don't have to. If you want to help me and you don't want to do that, just leave a like and comment and subscribe. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.